Hello everyone, welcome to DeCodeDev. Today we'll talk about let var and const. How do we use it? What are some rules around the let var and const? So let's get started. So this is our website, DeCodeDev. You can come here, you can prepare for the interviews, you can go through the roadmaps and everything. And we also have an inbuilt JavaScript compiler where you can test the JavaScript code. So let's try it here as well. Also, let me zoom it a little bit. Yes. So what are let var and const? So these are nothing but the keywords. Okay. Why do we use it? These are used to declare, right? Variables. Right. So every language has their own keywords to declare the variable. Like in Java, we have int, string, and everything. And in JavaScript, we have let, var, and const. So we'll start with var. What is var? Var is basically is used from the starting. So from the starting earlier, like from ES5 and earlier, we were using var. And what is the scope? So we'll talk about the scope. Uh, is this hoisted or not? Can we redeclare it or reassign it or not? Right? We'll talk about these parameters. So what is the scope of var? It is function scope, okay, and global scope, but not block scope. Okay, what is block? Basically anything between curly braces. So this is not block scope, but it is function scope and global scope. Okay, now we'll talk about the hoisting. Does sorry hoisting. So does var hoist? Yes, absolutely, right? And it is initialized with undefined, right? So how can we check it? So suppose if I do something like console.log a and then I do var a, right? Ideally, it should give error, right? But because of the hoisting, a value called undefined will be assigned to the variable a, and then whenever we'll do console.log a, we'll get undefined, right? So this is what var hoisted is. Okay. Can we redeclare and reassign it, right? What is redeclaration? So suppose if I do var a, right, and put and assign it some value, suppose 10. So can I again do var a? Absolutely, you can do it. And again, you can assign a value to it. So if I'll do console.log a, what value will I get? I'll get 20, right? Also, this one is also allowed. Again, I'll get 20. So I'm just assigning it a value, but I'm not redeclaring it. So redeclaration and reassignment is absolutely correct in case of var, right? Now let's talk about let. What is let, right? So let was introduced in ES5 basically in 2015, right? And what about the scope? So it is function scope, okay, and block scope. And what is a block again? Curly braces. So when if even if you write the function something like this function ABC, right? Again, you have to put the curly braces, right? So again, this is a block. So that's why it is a function scope and a block scope. Okay. Hoisting. Does let hoist? Absolutely. It does hoist, but you cannot access the value because it is in the temporal dead zone, right? What do I mean by that the value is in temporal dead zone? So suppose we'll take the previous example. So if I'll do console.log a and then I do the declaration of let, right? Now, ideally, the value should be undefined, right? Because it is hoisted, right? So it does hoist, it does get the value as undefined, but this value is not accessible, right? So we are trying to access the value before the declaration, right? So that's why it is not accessible. So that's why we are getting the reference error that you cannot access it before initialization. So first you have to initialize it, right? Then only you can access it. So if I do something like let and then I try to console it, absolutely I'll get undefined, right? So this is one of the conditions in case of let, right? It does get hoist, but the value is stored in the temporal dead zone, so you cannot use it before declaration. So you have to declare it first, then you can access it, right? Can you reassign the value in let? Yes. So if I do let a is equals to 5, can I do something like a is equals to 10? Will this give me error? Absolutely not, right? So you can you can reassign the value, but can I redeclare it in the same scope? Can I do let a is equals to 10? No, right? So identifier a has already been declared. So in the same scope, you cannot redeclare the let keyword. Yes. Clear? Now let's talk about the const. So const is more stricter than let and var, right? This was also introduced in ES 6, which was 2015, right? What about the scope? Again, same function and block, right? Again, because in function we use the curly braces, so that's why the function and block scoped. But hoisting, yes, it does get hoist, but again, temporal dead zone, right? So again, the value is stored in the temporal dead zone. So until or unless you declare it, you cannot access the value, right? One more strictness is there, that you have to along with the declaration, you have to initialize this. So if I do something like const a, so I cannot do console.log a. It will throw me error because I have declared it, but I have not initialized this. So this is one more condition, that along with the declaration, you have to initialize it. Right? Then only you can do console.log a. So it will give us the value as a. So is reassignment possible, right? Obviously, it is more stricter. It is not allowing you to only declare it, right? You have to do the assignment as well. So reassignment is also not possible, and redeclare is also not possible in case of const, right? So whenever possible, we try to use const. If not possible, we go for let. Otherwise, var is the last option, or we don't use it at all. Yes. So that's pretty much all about let, var, and const. Do let me know in the comments what else do you want me to cover, and was this video helpful to you or not. Thank you. Bye bye.